Go on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. Absolutely delighted today to be joined by two of the most horrible Evertonians that I know, previewing the Merseyside derby. So myself, Glenn, hosting it, and with me I have Skippy, Andrew Lancaster. So that's his full name. You can get him on Twitter later. And then we also have Matthew Entwistle as well. I think it's the first time I've ever called you your full names there, boys. Thanks for coming on. How are you both doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, sound, sun shining in Austin.
Oh, you're not giving me my nickname.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So we'll start off with some happier moments for you. We'll go with you first. We'll start with you first, Skip. The very first time watching the Blues, first game. How did you get into supporting Everton?
I actually checked with my dad last night. It's 1994 at home to Crystal Palace, a 3-1 win.
Wow.
Yeah, a rare one. For all the family, Evertonians, granddad, nana, aunties, uncles. So
there's never
just personal opinion. I think you should always follow your dad's team, no matter how bad it gets. I just think there's something about dad and lad going to match together. I just think you should follow your dad's team.
What was your actual thoughts about going to the first game and stuff? Can you remember much about it?
I can't remember. No, I can't remember the first game. It'd be probably the first game I do remember was staying up against Coventry. It must have been 8 or 9. That was the first one. And everyone on the pitch. And I remember a friend of ours, Steve Cowan, and his dad.
On the pitch, aren't you?
I know, yeah. A friend of ours and his dad being on the boat back from Liverpool to the Isle of Man with a piece of turf that they'd taken off the pitch. Another bad moment in our history. Good, but bad, I suppose. Another last day of the season, staying up, and
yeah,
that was my first. That's the first proper game that I can remember.
So when did you start hating Everton?
Probably late 90s. I started hating them. First game was probably early 2000s. Went with my dad. So we went to Bolton at home. Big Dunk got sent off first 20 minutes for punching someone. I'm pretty sure he just punched one of the defenders. Yeah, but they went on to win 3-1, and I kind of caught the bug then.
That's funny.
I remember somewhat. I was listening to about that game, and when they took Ferguson into the dressing room after, it might have been on Moyes' podcast. And he said he punched someone from Bolton, and he turned around and he said, "Sorry, Gaffer, I thought it was Nolan," because he thought it was Kevin Nolan, I believe.
Oh, did he? It's quite mad that both your games are wins, really, because it's sort of got a bit tits up since.
Yeah.
Here's one.
To be honest,
here's one for you. Like you both don't have kids at the minute, do you?
No.
Would you guide your kids away from supporting Everton just for the amount? I'm not saying to be like a red, but would you guide them away from supporting Everton just for the misery that they've caused you?
Yeah, no, not in a million years. Not in a million years. We always say the match is the worst part, but it's the memories you have, the trips away with your mates.
Yeah,
believe it or not, the European aways. Even just the normal ways, just being with your mates, being with your family, being with what would be your granddad, your uncles. It's not just the match.
Yeah, no,
it's the whole experience of the day out, the travel and the trip. Obviously, you want them to win and stuff, but at some point, you just think it might be our turn.
Right, well, we'll move on there. That was the happy memory, so we'll move on to more recent stuff. We'll get into the derby a little bit in a minute. We're going to try and keep this about 30 minutes. I know this could be about 3 hours, this bit, but what is actually going on in the last, say, couple of years? What's your opinion with sort of the last 2-3 years for anyone that isn't really in the know with everything that's going on?
The big error started in employing your ex-manager, Rafa Benitez. That was probably the downfall from there.
Would you not say it's way further than that, though?
I mean, the board's a big issue. Ken Wright always said he'd sell to the right man. And then he said he refused to sell us to, rumoured to sell us to certain people, like the lads that own City now, stuff like that. And then he's found Mr. Mashiri, and he's obviously sold him a pipe dream that he can spend all his money and we'll be class and all this. And he's just a big problem for us.
He was the right billionaire for Ken Wright, not for Everton.
Yeah.
What? So what?
He was the right. So Ken Wright could get a billionaire in, and he could still take control. And Ken Wright didn't want to relinquish control, but he needed the money to keep up. So he found the right billionaire for him. And so Everton have got the fourth smallest board in the league. So in theory, they're the highest paid board in the league. The CEO is a charity fundraiser. Bill Kenwright, all right, he's been at Everton for years, but we've been dogged with loans from British Virgin Islands, begging, borrowing, stealing, selling our best players time and time and time again. It's the same old lies. The King's Dock fell through, tried to ship us off to Kirby, to Tesco, into a car park. It's the constant lies all the time. The fans just want a proper fit and proper owner who will come in, who knows what they're doing, with a competitive board, with a plan, with a strategy, and basically a way if they want to do it. And at least if they say, this is what we want to do, the fans will say, okay, that's fine. But they're jumping from, it's like giving a kid a tenner and saying, go in the sweet shop, buy your tea.
Yeah.
They're going to come out with all sorts of stuff. You don't know what they're going to come out with. And that's what Everton are like. They're so like scattergun. They go for this player, then they go for that player, then they change manager, then they're doing this, then they're doing that. There's no kind of way of playing. Brighton, obviously, an easy example of good strategies and like how they want to progress. But if Everton done that, the fans will get behind it because they say, okay, I can see what we're doing. At the minute, if it's not working, that's fine, but we can see what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. There's no communication from the board.
They sacked and
8.
They're clearly doing an incorrect job at that level. So if you're spending $500 million, like you want to see some return.
You don't want to see still Tom Davies playing in centre mid.
No.
But here's one for you. I'll put it back to you, Wes. Would you say Ken Wright is the biggest problem?
For me, he is. For me, definitely.
He's still there and he's still clutching. He's clutching on as much as he can. There's power.
The thing is now, Glenn, there's like that protest last week. The whole of Goodison Road was full. Them all wanting the board out. That's not just a little problem.
Yeah.
And him staying there is not the solution either. Like that crowd is only going to get bigger. That problem's only getting bigger. He needs to go now.
Do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking, like, do you know if he was your dad or if he was your granddad? Like,
you'd want him out.
Why do you want that hassle in your life? Like,
if he could have stepped down, he could have stepped down 18 months, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and still gone to every game, been this top blue that he says he is, and everyone would have said, right, okay, he's got the billionaire in. Now let's step aside, and you can say, okay, go forward, and he wouldn't have got this. But he's so narcissistic. He wants it all for himself. It's all about himself all the time, and it's too all about him to let go. There's ex-players there who were banned from Goodison and from the complimentary tickets for speaking out against Ken Wright. It's his way or the highway, and people say that he's not involved as much as I'm making so many decisions, but he is. He's fully in control and knows what's going on. And if he can't see after 7 years, with failing in financial fair play, the team's as bad as it's ever been, We're selling Richarlison on the 30th of June just to balance the books before we literally are in real trouble. We're losing 110 million a year. The stadium, okay, they're providing a stadium. There's 300 million overspend already. And you've got to remember, okay, they're putting the funding forward, but they don't really have much control of how it's built, if you know what I mean. Lango Rourke, they're the ones who are building it and providing it. I know they're involved, but Kenwright's not personally involved in the building, is he? So that's Mashiri's put his own money into that. And Kenwright's overseeing it. And I think he's trying to stay until they get to the new ground, personally. And then I think he'll step aside. But the way it's going, we could be in it. I think there's a good chance we could be in the Championship by the time that comes around. Because even if they stay up this year, they are in big trouble next year because they haven't got any money to spend and they are a bottom 3 or 4 side. If you look at the front 3,
yeah,
they are.
Well, before we get into the actual team itself, if you're looking in, like we're going into the sort of recruitment part as well, I think, is this the third one? I think there's Thelwell. Is it Walsh? Is it Walsh?
Walsh and Brand, yeah.
So there's 3 in about 6 years, isn't it? Directors of football. Yeah. You just I mean, it's as Carragher said the other day, it's the worst run club in the country, and it is. It is.
Yeah.
Easy, isn't it?
Yeah, easy.
So, were you happy? We'll move on slightly then. Were you happy with the well, firstly, Lampard had to go, both of you, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desperate for him to work, but he had to go.
There's not really many people that hate Liverpool more than Lampard. So I mean, I bet you spoke to him about that, Rangers. But
everyone, to be fair, he didn't get as much of a hard time as other managers.
Oh, like the other one, the same.
Like Benitez and but a lot of the managers, it was time to go. Come on,
what was your
we need to get him out.
What was your thoughts on Benitez?
Benitez,
yeah,
probably number 1 worst football appointment ever in any history of any football club. Why he ever? That's it. Mashiri getting involved again with Kia Drapchin.
I know. I'm just trying to wind you up.
I know, but it's.
I told him not to. Well, I told him not to swear too much at the start, and he's being quite reserved.
I'm not swearing.
Because if he would actually say what he was really thinking, I think we'd be.
Did anyone ever think that was going to work?
I know, it was insane. But all right, moving on then. Dyche, first game back. Initial thoughts, Whistle.
I was there on Saturday. To be fair, it had a different feel about it when I went in the stadium on Saturday. Everyone was just a bit up for it. Obviously he's very like, I've watched a few of his high performance podcasts and stuff like that. He's more tactical and people give him credit for. He's probably the right fit for Everton right now and where we are. I think even he said that he doesn't think he'd get the job, or he wouldn't have got the job if we were where we should be, spending 500 mil or whatever we spent.
Yeah.
But the performance on Saturday was like, I've watched Arsenal a few times this season. They've been unbelievable, to be fair, and we totally shut them down. Absolutely ran them off the park. And it was great to watch, to be fair. That was believe it or not, that was the first win I saw this season. Going to the match.
Have you got a season ticket as well?
I've got a season ticket. Yeah.
Oh, honestly. So for any of our Reds that are watching, obviously it's been horrific for us this year, but you know, this lad's got a season ticket and he's seen it once. Skip, I know you were at the West Ham game, the last one. I mean, that was a totally different game, like from attitude. I mean, if I think of an Everton type performance, and I think about when 06, 07, 05, that sort of the really, really good Everton teams, that the weekend's performance had so much of those teams.
Yeah, but that's what Dyche is, isn't he? It's energy, it's passion, get the ball wide, get the ball into the box, free kicks, win corners, a few of the bigger lads, legs, energy, everything that we haven't really done for the last 18 months. But some of the, obviously not all the players can do, but the middle three, especially Onana, Decore, Gana Gay, they've got legs and energy. Oh, they're not Onana's going to be a player, unbelievable. But Decore and Gana Gay are just workhorses. And at minimum, if they give 100%, the fans will give them something back. We know they struggle. Our front six struggle, creative-wise, ability-wise. But if they can try the best, give 100%, Arsenal showed you can get results.
Yeah.
I think that's what Dyche is going to bring in. Unfortunately, Sean Dyche is not the manager 6 years into being owned by a billionaire. He's not the manager you think would be there. But at this time, he is the right man, hopefully. And probably the right man. I mean, if he keeps us up.
I would have done anything to see Bielsa on his bucket when you guys were getting beat 4-0 by Leeds.
I can tell you now, I know people want Bielsa. I didn't. I'm not saying he wouldn't have kept us up. But the murder ball that he plays, and one-on-one, and our back four with Cody and Tarkowski and Coleman, them playing one-on-one on the halfway line. It was never going to work with our players. And then he wanted to come in and do the kids till the summer, till he signed players. But I remember reading the thing at Lazio, he come in the same as what he would at Everton, and he didn't sign the players, so he resigned 3 days later.
Yeah.
Once the window shut. And I think he probably would have done the same, because they've let Dyche down. To let Anthony Gordon go and not get anyone in it's criminal.
So moving on to before we sort of get to the derby, at this point now, obviously, you've got 18 points and Leeds have got a point above. Is that right? Leeds have got 19.
Yeah.
A point above. What's your general feeling about staying up?
I still think we're in real trouble. Just purely on the basis of going forward, I think we're going to struggle for goals. That's my only worry. I think we'll be right at the back and in the middle. And I think we'll have to grind results out more than like any kind of flair or style. I think we're just going to have to set pieces, long throws, dice football.
Got an absolute massive team. Like, who sat there last week, and you've got Onana, Tarkowski, Cody, Calvert-Lewin, all these massive lads, Decore, all in the box, and you're thinking all he's going to do is tell his wingers to go down the wing, win a corner, win a free kick, get the ball in the box. Where that's where Frank Lampard fell down, I think, in that he got to that stage and he wanted to pass it around when he got to the final third, and they just weren't good enough for it.
No, I quite like the Decore Onana. He kind of played them in. Remember how Fellaini used to play for Everton?
Yeah.
So he would drop into a 3 when they were defending, but then when they were forward, you had a 6'4", 6'6", like target man. And then when the ball's wide, he almost comes in as a second striker then.
Yeah.
It's making the best of a bad situation. He's got one centre forward, really, a kid, and then Neil Maupay he's not much of a target man. Well, he come on and he's busy, but
it's funny because what you were saying there was, so when going back to that sort of 06, 07, 05 period that I was talking about before, the Everton team is about putting the ball in the box and getting corners. And I've been watching you. I'll be honest, I've been watching you a lot this year, just for the.
You've been delighted, haven't you?
Well. I mean, when we started thinking about doing this a few weeks ago, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a laugh. I'll just be sitting here with some popcorn and having a laugh." But we've been shite, which we'll probably get into in a minute. But seeing Everton getting the centre back, getting the ball, and then he's playing it to the right back, and then they're playing it back to the centre back, and you're like, "This is fucking crap. This is not really sort of like an Everton type team." But I think the only thing now, just from my point of view, is that the league is quite condensed, isn't it? There's not much there. So there's not really
One win, you can go up quite. Was it 2 or 3 places?
Yeah.
Go up to 14th.
So, yeah,
that's what I mean. If we play Leeds at home, you beat Leeds at home, you go up 2 or 3 places, and then it's a 6-pointer, isn't it? Or then you can fall 4 or 5 points behind.
Yeah.
No, but we just lost 4 games to teams around us, which is criminal, really.
I mean, if you think about it, it's half the season left.
Yeah, there's still half a season.
Can you win six games and then maybe pick up 2 draws? And I think that should do you. But
I said to Whistle, if they could win 5 of the whole last 9 home games, gives you 15 points. That puts you on 32, 33 points. Then you've got 8 away games or 9, whatever it works in. Just see if you can pick up a couple of wins.
Got to beat Forest, haven't we?
Beat who? Forest.
Got to Forest away.
Yeah. But if you get beat off Forest and Leeds at home, that's 6 points, isn't it? You're overturning.
Yeah.
So the Arsenal win was a free hit. No one would have expected anything, and he got 3 points. So it gives them half a chance now.
All right. So moving on to the actual derby itself. What's your thought process on this? I'll go with you first, Skip. Because I know usually you're like, I hate it. Just get it over and done with. Just give.
I hate it. The worst game of the season.
But what I mean is
home or away.
But right now, with us being absolutely shite, we've scored 2 goals in 5 games. What's your thoughts now? What is your actual thoughts going into this game? Are you feeling a little bit more?
Well, do you remember the FA Cup game when you put the under-18s out and still beat us? So it's irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant. apart from the Richarlison game over lockdown when there was loads of mad results, we're always shit there. A couple of odd draws and stuff, but if we could get a point, I'd be made up. Absolutely delighted. So if you can get a point and take 4 points from Liverpool and Arsenal, bite the hand off. A good performance, more so, just to see how we set up. Hopefully, we don't just sit back and fight Liverpool on. Hopefully, we have a bit of a go.
Well, this is what I was going to say. And are you going? By the way, are you going?
I'm not. No, not this week.
Yeah,
I'd give my ticket away. I'm not having it at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But what now is your mindset? Obviously, Calvert-Lewin's just been ruled out. We just found out about an hour ago. Well, he might. It looks like he's going to struggle. But would you go a little bit more? I'm not saying that you're going to defend on the halfway line or anything like that. But would just maybe go up the field a little bit more? Would you reckon you'll be a little bit more adventurous just because we're so shite and we've been so poor?
I don't think they've got the players to be adventurous ever.
Not adventurous. I don't mean to be like expansive and play really wide, but maybe like we were saying before, Skip, about maybe Decore maybe coming and maybe having 2 forwards. And I don't know, like if we're so shite at the minute and we're so vulnerable, especially for anything in the box. I'm just wondering whether you might be a bit just than what you might have thought maybe 2-3 weeks ago.
If that midfield turns up from Saturday, I'm not saying that Liverpool are having but the noise from outside Liverpool is that your biggest issue's the midfield, isn't it?
Fucking everywhere.
But like Skip said, it does not matter. We go to Anfield, we're normally shite. But saying that, I think they'll have confidence from last week. Yeah, they should be up for it, you'd imagine. But Gakpo hasn't scored yet, has he? He'll be bagging one. Nunes on a bit of a drought. He'll be bagging a couple. Yeah, like Skip said, I'd snap your hand off for a draw right now.
This is like 25 years of watching Everton and Liverpool derbies, isn't it? Like your mind is now just like.
What have we won in the last 20 years? How many derbies?
Well, at Anfield, I think it's only the
3.
At Anfield.
To be fair, quite a lot of at Goodison, quite a lot of them have been draws, haven't they?
Yeah.
A couple of wins at home.
So anything different in the teams itself? What do you think from Saturday's game? be anything different? Maybe more pay.
Damari Gray might play. That would be the only change.
I think he might play in the 9, Damari Gray.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I'd be.
Yeah.
I think he likes a target, man.
Yeah, I would. But then do you do Morpay or Sims? Morpay's so different from Calvert-Lewin, isn't it?
Yeah. Sims is more like Calvert-Lewin, isn't he? Bit of a bigger lad. Morpay's quite busy, but I don't. That's the problem. He's been left short by the board again. Promised him a striker. Mashiri came out and spoke to the fans and said, "We will get you a striker." Sold Anthony Gordon and didn't get us a striker.
He's got
now we're left short. Yeah. Now we're left short. I'm glad, in a way, they didn't just go and spend 40 million on some absolute shite because they were desperate. So,
yeah. I was going to say, you could have signed Danny Ings, couldn't you? You could have signed Danny Ings, and that's the sort of thing you probably would have done in the past. Signed Danny Ings on like a 3-4 year contract.
Yeah.
120 grand a week. Shite, injured.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but they've left him short. So if Calvert-Lewin doesn't make it,
just want to do a prediction.
Head or heart? Both.
Head. God, you got to do your head, haven't you? I think it'll be a draw myself, but
head 2-0 Liverpool. Heart 1-1.
I'll go conservative 0-0.
I think
is that head or heart?
Head, definitely.
Head.
Because you've given away your ticket, though. You know it'll be the first one. Well, not the first one, but the first one with you lot in there. Because you just went in there for the COVID one, were you?
No.
It's funny, actually. I was thinking this. This is the first time, like, because you two both rang me after that one, and that's the first time that you both ring me one. So yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, remember it again on Monday if we win as well. Make sure you answer.
What out of all of them? What was? This is a bit of a shitty question, to be fair. Which derby hurt the most?
Hurt the most?
Yeah.
The semi-final.
Arrow one.
The semi-final. We're well on top. Jelavic had just scored. Good. Wembley was absolutely bouncing, and Distan tried to play a back pass from the halfway line. Didn't he, with his wrong foot? And then was it Andy Carroll scored late on? Was it Andy Carroll? He beat us 2-1. That was gutting. We played well. We played well.
We went down in the camper with that. I don't think you were with us for that.
No, I wasn't in the camper, but I went down.
Yeah, we went down in the camper.
Like Whistler had the Origi one as well.
Yeah.
That one was bad. Just because it was my birthday. That was terrible.
Did you go?
No, thank God.
Because I don't think you've been. I think you went once with me, didn't you? And you were sat on our end, and you were like, "I'm never coming back here ever again."
No, I did go back.
Have you? What, in your end though?
Yeah. No, in our end. Yeah, in our end. Coutinho scored. It was 2 or 3-0. It was 3-1 actually. I think Matty Pennington scored. I think it was 3-1. Rubbish again, as always. And then I won the FA Cup games. See, I've been in the away end twice. That's enough. I hate it there.
I'm not much better. I've been there. I think it beat 5-2 the other year, 4-0. I was there when the under-18s won. Absolutely terrible.
Just before we wrap it up, it's funny actually because we done a pod in the pub last night, and we talking about our favorite derbies. Can you remember the one? I know for a fact you both remember it because we were probably giving each other a lot of shit about it. Remember the Cout one where he should have got sent off for basically comfort.
Yeah.
When Gerrard's basically got a red card for Hibbert, and winner.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favorites. I like the ones where yous are on top, or yous are doing really well, and then we burst the bubble. They're my favorite. It's funny, I've got a favorite type of derby win where yous are like, fucking, we'll do anything for a scabby 1-0.
To be fair though, in the last 10, 12 years, I don't know how many have won at Goodison.
Yeah.
2, 3 maybe. It's not been loads. There's
No.
been quite a lot of draws and we've had a couple of wins.
No.
It's just away from home that we've been awful.
All right. Anyway, we'll wrap this up then, because we're nearly at the half an hour mark. But boys, thanks for coming on. I told you I won't be too bad to you, to be fair. I mean, the fact that we're shite doesn't really help. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you at the next one. Hopefully, this gets recorded. Okay. All right, guys. See you later.
Up the Toffees.
That's Toffees.